A day after the Israeli government decision, and the effect was clear. A substantial reduction in the traffic coming into Gaza from the cargo crossing with Israel. The lorries we saw were mainly carrying animal feed, which, along with medicine, livestock, fuel and food for shops, are classed as humanitarian goods, exempted from the closure. But that means no raw materials for businesses like this textile firm in Gaza City. The closure also means no chance to export the finished product to the occupied West Bank, which accounts for 40% of the business. Gaza's economic decline has already seen production halved here in the last year, staff cut by a third.
This decision means it's more likely that I'll have to close my factory. 50 to 60 workers will lose their jobs. I won't be able to fulfill my orders from the West Bank. I won't be able to produce for the local market. So the decision for us, for the whole of the Gaza Strip, is catastrophic.
Israel's Prime Minister announced the action as a response to the continuing use of kites and balloons carrying incendiary material, which for months now have been flown from Gaza into Israeli territory. Thousands of hectares of Israeli farmland and forests have been burned. The UN Special Coordinator on the Middle East peace process on Tuesday urged Hamas to end the practice and called on Israel to reverse the border closure, saying humanitarian goods were no substitute for commerce and trade. Gaza's official unemployment rate already stands at well above 40%, its economy already suffering from salary cuts imposed by the Palestinian Authority, as it too tries to pressurize Hamas. As long as the restrictions remain in place on goods coming through the Israeli route, the focus will shift to what's just over there, the Rafah crossing from Egypt. Currently 30 or 40 trucks, mainly carrying construction goods, come through that route each day. The question is, can Egypt become an alternative supply route on a large scale? Egypt has unusually kept the crossing open since mid-May, but experts say relying on Egypt to replace what's being lost through the Israeli crossing is unrealistic.
The Rafah crossing can't be a substitute for Karam Shalom, because there are lots of goods that we import from the West Bank. We want to see integration between Gaza and the West Bank. We would want Rafah to be an additional crossing, not a substitute. But for that, we need a fully integrated political agreement.
Earlier on Tuesday, a boat carrying injured people attempted to sail from Gaza. As with a similar attempt in May, they were intercepted by the Israeli Navy. At the same time as it imposed the new restrictions on the land crossing, Israel also ended its extension for Gaza's fishing waters, reduced back from 14 kilometers to 10. After 12 years of blockade, the squeeze on Gaza's 2 million people is intensifying. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Gaza.